The DAZN Boxing Show is on the road from Wembley as we build up to another big weekend of fight action. Coming up, we are going to preview Jermell Charlo versus Jordan Thompson. We're going to hear from both fighters. Eddie Hearn will join us to wrap up the rest of the card, and we're in Vegas too, as the countdown to the big one continues. Canelo versus Charlo. Big world title fight this weekend. This man, Jermell Charlo, defends his IBF cruiserweight title and ring-recognised #1 status as well. He takes on Jordan Thompson. It's been an interesting few months for you, right? I mean, since that big win against Marius Bradis, you've obviously had the shoulder surgery. Hopefully that's fine, that's good for you. And then it felt like it was going to be Masterneck, then it felt like it was going to be Richard Riakpo, and here we are with Jordan Thompson. What's that been like for you the last year?
It's been a roller coaster to get to where we are today, you know, but we've learned on the way, you know what I mean? We've had a few training camps, a lot of sparring, you know, we've grown. I feel like a way better version of myself than my last fight, so, you know, I just haven't had the platform to show it, but, you know, September 30 we do.
I mentioned Jordan Thompson. Again, it wasn't the first choice opponent. Obviously, we know you wanted that Richard Riakpo fight. Some say you wanted the Marius Bradis one as well. How much do you know about Jordan?
You know, just what I've seen of him. You know, he's obviously a tall opponent, but, you know, we're ready. You know, I'm a boxer. I've been a boxer for a long time, and I've been ready for a long time too for this fight. So, you know, and all these pommies over here are tall. You know, they're all tall guys, but man, we're ready. We're ready to go wherever this fight needs to go.
With so many fights falling through and such inactivity, do you think that evens it a little bit more?
Not at all. You know what I mean? Like, especially at my age, you know, I was 27 when I won, 28 now. You know, I'm yet to hit my peak. You know, I'm still growing. These guys haven't seen the best of me yet. You know what I mean? We've been in the freaking gym grinding. So it's been good. We've had growth, but like I said, it has been frustrating not being able to get those fights. But you know, that's all part of it. It's part of becoming a world champ. You got to sort of get over these hurdles, and you know, we'll stay positive. You know, everything's positive. We feel good, and that's all that matters.
What is the goal? Is it to clean out a division? Is it to jump in with the heavyweights? Is it to look at a bridgerweight? What is the goal?
My main goal is to collect all the belts. I want to become a unified champion. And then, yeah, you know, we talk about moving up to heavyweight. It's in our sights. But you know, I got a few boxes to tick first. You know, I don't look on myself like I've already completed what I've needed completed in this division. You know what I mean? I feel like, and like I said, I'm 28. You know, I'm hungry. You know, these guys think because I've already won the Ring magazine that I'm done. I've just gotten started. You know what I mean? And even with the fight with Bradis, man, we were sitting there just waiting for our opportunity, you know what I mean? We were only fighting the best that they could give us. Anyone they put in the ring, that's all, you know, I can't argue. I just got to do what I got to do. And then as soon as they gave us Bradis, man, we jumped on it straight away and we showed the world who the best cruiserweight was. And then on September 30, we remind them.
I'd have to ask you about two things. Inactivity, obviously. It's been a while since the Bradis fight. I know you wanted to be active. And the injuries. Obviously, the jaw broken against Bradis. You've had shoulder surgery. How's the body feeling, and what's it like to get down again to that cruiserweight limit, because you've not had a fight in over a year?
I make weight easy because I train so hard. You know, I live in the gym. And with these, you know, injuries and stuff, but I look at them as upgrades, you know what I mean? They got me a new jaw, it's stronger. A new shoulder, it's stronger. I broke my rib, you know, prior to the Breeders' fight, stronger. I got a new left hand, strong. I've only had this new left hand for 2 fights, you know what I mean? Breeders' fight and the one before. All my other fights, I fought one-handed pretty much, you know what I mean? I'm progressing, I'm growing. They haven't seen the best version of me.
What's it like fighting over here as well in London?
It's good, you know. I always knew, like I've been saying in all these interviews, I always knew these big arena fights were coming. You know, I've been boxing my whole life. You know, big amateur pedigree onto the world titles. I knew these fights were coming. So it's just, I'm sitting here like, it's about time. You know, I deserve to be here. I've earned it.
What's going on with Australian boxing right now? Like, you're like the figurehead, right? I'll say you and Tim Tszyu are the big names everyone talks about. But there's so many others as well. It's almost like you guys right now on an upward curve. Everyone's talking about Australian boxing.
It is, man, and it's awesome to have, you know, myself, Tim Tszyu, you know, George Kambosis, the Maloney boys, shout out to all them. We're setting a platform, you know, me coming up as a pro, I was fighting on NRL players undercards, you know what I mean? But now I'm giving boys platforms to fight on world titles, and that's what Australia needs, and especially with the zone getting that international level, well, we're growing as a country, and I feel like Australia is reaching their peak, and then we're going to take those big stadium fights back home, you know what I mean? And we're going to represent.
Yeah, indeed. Go on, prediction for the weekend, how does it play out?
You know, I don't like to put the predictions, you know, I adapt in the ring, but I'm ready for wherever this fight goes. There's no fallback plan here. Boxing is my #1 goal.
I am a winner. You know, it's just me v me. It's me and the man in the mirror. It's as simple as that.
Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man.
That's what I'm trained for, man. Just 12 around the wall. Yeah, going over to London, man. That's where respect's earned.
Fighting for a world title in London is something like destiny by any means necessary.
He's coming with nothing to lose and everything to gain.
We just got to go out there and fulfill my destiny. I am a winner and I am going to win.
Big opportunity for this man on Saturday. He takes on Jermell Charlo for the IBF Cruiserweight title and the status as ring recognised #1 cruiserweight on the planet. Jordan Thompson, a couple of days out, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Nice and relaxed, cool, calm, collected. Now it's just about preserving that energy, doing what we got to do, media obligations and whatnot, and then we get in there Saturday night and claim what's ours.
Was it an easy decision? Like, obviously it's a decision that I'm guessing would be made by your team, your coaches, your management staff. When you get this call and say, okay, do you want that Jermell Charlo fight? Did you say yes immediately? Or was there a case of, okay, let's have a look at it and see if we're ready for this?
So it is with opportunities like this, you ain't really got time to think. There's no time to plan. We have to improvise, straight in there, jump in there. And this is what boxing's about. This is what life's about accepting them challenges, testing yourself against the best. And listen, nothing got easy is worth having, man. So we got to get in there, put ourselves against the best and go out there and do what's what.
Do you think he's the best cruiserweight on the planet?
I believe on paper he is the best cruiserweight on the planet right now. And I can't wait to go in there and prove that I'm the best cruiserweight on the planet.
You defeat this guy, Jordan, then you just take #1 spot straight away. There is no disputing, there is no debating. This guy's been the #1 for the last 18 months. But do you feel a little bit of pressure from going from one level to such a high level instantly? Because it's a big jump.
No, without a doubt, man. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel the pressure. But I believe and I know and I understand what pressure brings. And I believe in myself and my potential, and I know how I react to pressure. And I'm going to go and make the most of it, because pressure makes diamonds, man. Pressure brings the best out of some people. It can either make you or break you. And I'm a big believer in that. So I'm going to go out there Saturday night, I'm going to feel what I'm going to feel, and I'm going to use it to my advantage. And again, pressure's a dangerous thing. Nervous energy is a dangerous thing. So again, I'm not here to waste any energy. I'm going to put all my energy into Saturday night. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to use all the energy from the crowd, all the energy that I need. I'm going to go out there and put on a performance of my life.
Let's quickly talk about your opponent, Jermell Charlo. Again, good amateur record. So far unbeaten as a pro, good punch as well. What do you make of him as a fighter?
Listen, man, he's a classy operator. He's a classy operator. He knows how to box. Great ring IQ in that. He's got good experience. But again, I know for a fact he's never been in there with a fighter like me. That's a fact. And again, I've never been in there with a fighter like him. But I do believe you've got two people in there who truly believe in themselves. They know what it takes to be a champion. They know what it's going to take on the night. And that only makes for a very good fight. He's trying to say he's built for it. I'm going to say, I ain't got to worry about that. I'm really like that. And it's listen, man, like I say, bro, you got two intense individuals. I'm a little bit more laid back in my intenseness, but listen, at the same time, you got two guys who, listen, the respect's there. There'll never be disrespect from my half anyway. I'm a very respectful individual until disrespected. But again, I'm not there to waste energy. All my energy will be saved for Saturday night.
A final one from us. What's it like headlining your own card, right? I mean, headlining, you look behind and your face is on the posters, your name's up there in bright lights as well. World title fight. These are the dreams, right? When you turn pro as a boxer, this is it, fighting for world titles, obviously making some good money, hopefully as well, and selling out arenas. You're doing that, you're ticking those boxes.
Now, do you know what? It is a special occasion. It is a special occasion and not one that I'm taking for granted. And again, I just want to make it clear, I'm not here just to enjoy the moment. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not, I'm just happy to be here. No. I know what I'm destined for. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I've been blessed with. You know what I'm trying to say? So again, these are situations that I envisioned. You know what I'm trying to say? These are situations I knew were going to come because I knew and I believe in my potential. And I'm like I say, and like you touched on before, I'm always someone who knows when I'm doing something, I want to do it to the best of my capability and I want to reach the pinnacle of the sport. And again, this is just another chapter to the story that I'm going to add on Saturday night.
Jordan, good luck. Big fight on the weekend. Jordan Thompson challenging Jermell Charlo for the IBF Cruiserweight title. Main event. Good luck, Jordan.
Thank you, man.
Just a luck, champ.
Thank you.
This is the main event of the evening. Whoa! He's produced a flawless performance.
Zerto is ready to remind the world what he's made of. He knows what it takes to become a world champion.
Amanda is on fire tonight.
title shot.
Stunning finish.
What a performance by Chantel Cameron.
Big heavy hands again from Bam.
Bam Rodriguez, where are you?
And still the undisputed champion of the world.
Eddie Hearn joins myself and Tony Bellew now. This is the point where Eddie Hearn is going to tell you that Jordan Thompson's got a great chance, and Tony Bellew is going to say no, Joe Patai is going to knock him out, because that's what normally happens.
No, it's not.
That's how it normally
We do
plays out.
agree
Yeah,
on
but
some
hold on, what
things.
I just saw you interviewing Jordan Thompson. I bet he didn't say it then, did he? Oh, Jordan,
didn't ask me.
Jordan,
He didn't
you're a
ask me.
big favourite in the fight.
I didn't
you know?
say that. I
No.
no, I said 70.
People pleaser,
I said
Not.
he's got a 25% chance.
obviously against it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's about right.
I think that's about right. I mean, look, you're talking about a guy that's never boxed at.
British level.
Yeah, I mean, the win against Vasil Ducar, who's fighting Chev, he's a good.
Keep it at the
to
level.
sort of show that you're ready to move
Yes.
on to the top 15 guys. So he's never boxed anywhere near the levels, but what he has got is a lot of talent, and he's
And
been
power.
talked about for a long time. And the power is the key, because honestly, if he didn't have talent and particularly power, you wouldn't bother taking the fight.
Yeah.
You're fighting the number one cruiserweight in the world, you're fighting the IBF champion, the Ring Magazine champion, a bloke that when you look into his eyes scares the absolute living daylights
It's a
out of
killer.
you. But Jordan can knock anyone out.
Yeah.
So therefore you roll the dice. And when you roll the dice, you should always roll it for the jackpot. And this is the jackpot. This is the Ring Magazine championship. This is the number one spot in the division. So I love the fight. I love it because it's an unbeaten Brit, like I said, rolling the dice against the best in the division.
Yeah.
So buzzing for it, and I think it'll be very explosive. Jordan has to capitalise early in the fight because Opatai's an animal. And he'll walk him down, he'll back him up, he'll put him under mental and physical pressure. And you saw that in the Ducar fight in the 10th round, you know, Jordan wasn't himself that night, but still he got overrun a little bit, he went down. You talk about Opatai, it's another level. So Jordan needs to be sharp in this fight and make a dent early. Opatai will be on his chest from the first round, or be trying to get
He
on his
only
chest.
gets stronger upside as the fights go on.
Yeah, I don't want to sort of skip over the card very quickly, but loads of questions I want to ask you. But good step up as well for Chef Clark.
Yeah.
Another cruiserweight in what is already an exciting cruiserweight
Yes.
division domestically.
Yeah, and a regional belt with the IBF. So he's looking at the winner of this fight. I mean, if Jordan was to do it, Jordan against
Really?
Chev is a lot of fun. You know, and if you're Chev, you look at Jordan Thompson and
You
say,
do-
you know, I mean, the one thing with Chev is he continues, I love it, but he continues to fight sometimes with his heart and his nuts, which is great. And I think he also understands the level that he's at the moment. I don't think he's going to be as gun-ho as he moves up against better fighters. But Ducar, one thing about Ducar is his work rate, his fitness is unbelievable, and that's what happened in the Jordan Thompson fight. He gave Chris Billum-Smith a good fight, he dropped Jordan Thompson in a good fight, and I think it's a great test for Chev Clark.
Ellie Scotney makes her first defence of her IBF Super Bantamweight title. Got Maisie Rose Courtney on the card, Shannon Ryan on the card, Jimmy Sains has sold like 600-700 tickets, which is crazy. I do want to talk though about, I think, one of the best promos I've seen in years. Let alone, I think it's going to be one of the fights of the year
Was
as well.
exciting.
And that's Regis Prograis, or Devin Haney, should I say, versus Regis Prograis. I know Regis is not happy about that, but that's another conversation. How good was that promo, by the way?
Yeah, Alex Haynes, shout out to him and the content team, coming off the back of the Monte Carlo promo, which was also fantastic. Yeah, and brilliant. I mean, you know, when you get two guys who speak so well as well, like the press conferences for this are going to be fantastic. Regis is a great character, he's a great talker, and he believes. This isn't a bloke going in saying, oh, he thinks he is going to tear Devin Haney apart. Devin Haney thinks he's going to school him and beat him up and stop him. It's a real high-level matchup. You know, the undisputed lightweight world champion stepping up to 140 to fight arguably the best or most dangerous fighter in the division, the WBC title. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, yeah, the promo says everything perfectly. You know, December 9, coming off that. I mean, you know, December's interesting. December 2nd looks like we're going to have a show. December 9 is going to be Haney against Prograis. December 16 is Bam against Sonny. And 23 could even be Eubank against Ben. So we could be absolutely steamrolling the back end of the year, and that's one I think when you look at throughout the whole year, Haney Prograis top matchup.
Fantastic end of the year, isn't it, Tony? You look at those
It is.
matchups, even without the 2nd and the 23rd.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at what we've got coming up in a couple of weeks. Keeps on going.
Wood Warrington next week. For me, I mean, sometimes fights, I'm not saying that fight's gone under the radar, but that is a massive
Mega fight.
Like, you know, you got a guy from Nottingham Guy from Leeds, two-time world champions. Warrington trying to become a 3-time world champion. And I just think style-wise, I can't see anything but a fantastic fight there.
It's a war.
Obviously, Taylor against Cameron coming up as well. Catterall and Alvarez, done nearly 7,000 in Liverpool already for that fight. It's a fantastic schedule. Diego Pacheco coming up as well. Also, Rocky Hernandez against Oshaki Foster in Cancun. So much to come. Monaco, Japan.
About the Cancun one. Did about the Cancun.
It's quite clear to see, listen, we're the home of world boxing.
Yeah.
Bills everywhere.
The Japan deal done as well now?
It's huge.
I know people like to criticise and everything, but sometimes when you just put it down in black and white, it's easy to see. Show me someone that can lace the boots. Don't exist.
Doesn't exist at all, doesn't it? It doesn't exist, does it? Eddie, as always, my man, thank you very much. Should be an absolutely fantastic main event. And all the names that we've just mentioned on the undercard as well. Jermell Charlo defends his IBF Cruiserweight title and ring recognised #1 status as well against Jordan Thompson. Make sure you're there, live on DAZN. All right, here's a reminder of what's coming your way on the main card this Saturday with 5 fights. We kick off with Ellie Scotney defending her IBF bantamweight crown. She takes on Laura Soledad Griffer. The second female clash of the night sees Rhiannon Dixon. She meets Katarina Fandes for the European lightweight strap. Jimmy Sains makes his pro debut. He takes on Poland's Bart Strycek. The co-main is for the IBF International Cruiserweight strap as Chevron Clark challenges Vasyl Duka. And then the big one is the IBF World Title belt on the line when Jordan Thompson steps up to take on the undefeated Australian champ, Jay Opetaia. Good night of boxing here on Saturday. Looking forward to this one as well. 2 world title fights. The main one, obviously, the main event, Jermell Charlo defends his IBF and ring recognised #1 status against Jordan Thompson. I say, ring recognised #1. Is he the #1 cruiserweight for you?
He's without doubt the best cruiserweight in the world. He's got the win over Marius Bredas, who I had as the best cruiserweight in the world before he was defeated by Jai Opetaia. So, yes, 100%. I think that makes you right. He's a really good fighter, strong, good counter-puncher, good boxer. He does nothing outstanding. He's not the biggest puncher in the world. He's not the best boxer, but he does all the fundamentals really well, and he's a warrior. It's within him. You can see it. He lives by the code, and he's a top fighter. Jordan Thompson has his work cut out.
He certainly does. We're going to get to Jordan Thompson's chances shortly. I am with you. I think Jermell Charlo is the #1. I had Lawrence Okoli as that before Lawrence Okoli got beat by Chris Billam-Smith. There's been a bit of a shake-up. Everyone's losing. Makabu lost to Badu Jack.
Yes.
Glamarian, I don't know where he's doing.
He's on Mars.
Yeah, he's on Mars. You are correct. So I'm with you. Jermell Charlo is the #1. A lot of people asking how Jordan Thompson got the shot.
Yeah.
Let me break it down for you very quickly. It was supposed to be Jermell Charlo versus Marius Bredas rematch. Bredas' team said not yet. Then it was supposed to be Masterneck. I got it. You thought, didn't you?
Correct.
Many moons ago.
It wasn't that many moons ago.
It was about 7 years ago, wasn't it?
Wow, you've just done me there, good and proper. Thank you very much. You've just made me. I mean, I've got a cap on today to hide the badge that's underneath the cap. But yeah, it was a while back. But Mateusz Masterneck was a former European champion, only ever beaten by, I think when I faced him, it was the Gregory Drozd, the WBC champion. So yeah, he's a really good fighter, really strong, really competitive, and he's still racking off good wins.
So it was supposed to be Masterneck. Again, purse bids didn't happen, so he moved on. It's supposed to be Richard Riakporhe. We know what happened there.
Which
and
is
now
an
Jordan
absolute
Thompson.
disgrace.
It is. I would love to have seen that fight as well.
That was wrong what was done to Richard Riakporhe. It was an absolute disgrace. Just, I have no idea why he didn't face Jai Opetaia, because he's worked so hard to get himself to a mandatory position, and I can't stress enough, I've had to do it twice.
How difficult that is.
It is so hard to get to that mandatory slot, to get what's yours, and no rematch because you're going into a world title fight. It's really, really tough, and then just to have it swept from under your feet at the last minute, I think it's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah,
I feel so sorry for Richard Riakporhe.
Indeed, he'll get his opportunity though. So again, no Bredas, no Masterneck, no Richard Riakporhe, and now we are with Jordan Thompson, who gets the opportunity, right? He gets the opportunity. I mean, world title fights are supposed to be tough. This one will be very, very tough for him, but he's a big lad. He's got an opportunity.
He's a lump, and he can punch.
Yeah,
he can definitely punch. I'm not sure how good his durability and resistance is at cruiserweight, because I think he's actually too big for the weight.
Okay.
He's huge.
Yeah, I think we saw something happen in that Vasyl Duka fight, who actually fights Chev Clark on this card.
Yes.
Remember the last round?
Yeah.
Where it nearly was all undone. He's moved to Tony Sims since.
He has, and Tony Sims is one of the best trainers in the country. He's one of the best trainers the country's ever produced, if I'm being totally honest. I rate Tony Sims so highly. But the thing with Jordan Thompson is he's stuck in that awkward position of he can make cruiserweight, but I'm not sure how effective he is once he's made it. and he's not physically big enough for the heavyweights. Now, Bridgerweight, as the weight that I helped create with the WBC, was there. He's perfect for it, but there's no real mega fights there. Unless a 40-year-old fat boy comes back and has a little tussle and roll around.
Who
with
is that
someone
40-year-old fat boy?
Well, there's one called Thomas Rosinski, and then there's another guy called Tony Bellew. So but I've got no
itching to get back in the ring.
I'm just playing. But it's just he's a bit stuck, and I really do feel for Thompson and for Jordan. I really do, because he just needs that mega fight, and he's got it now. But I just feel this just might be a step too far.
What percentage chance do you give him? Be honest. What percentage chance? 20, 30?
30's being a bit kind.
Really, it is. Yeah.
I think 25.
25.
20 to 25.
He's a big lump. And to be fair, look, I mean, Jai Patai's got all the amateur experience, but before he fought Bradis, he hadn't fought anyone.
No, there's no standout signature wins on his record besides Marius Bradis, and you don't know how good. Well, you do know how good he is, because he beat Marius Bradis, and he was very good in that fight. It was a thoroughly deserved win. But at the same time, it's one night.
Yeah,
it's one great performance. You have to put together multiple performances to be regarded as, listen, you are a force to be reckoned with. Now, I'm going off that one performance against Bradis, but is Bradis kind of on the way out?
Yeah, he is.
Is his age is catching up to him. He's no spring chicken no more, and I just feel Aptaya capitalised on that. The inactivity of fighters. Listen, wasn't long ago that Marius Bradis was turning up to our shows dressed as Mario.
Yeah.
Trying to entice people into fights, and I just thought, wow, okay, you've just literally fell off.
It was so weird for me, because he was next to me in the studio and he's hard as nails, and then he came back out in a Mario uniform, and I was like, oh.
And it's also when you see him stood next to me, who's another cruiserweight, he just, it's not the imposing, intimidating figure that you'd expect, and I just didn't get it where he was, and he was obviously chasing the money, and I feel for him, because for such a brilliant world champion, and he was the best cruiserweight in the world when he had them belts, he just didn't seem to capitalise on it.
Yeah, still around though, Marius Bradis. It looks like he's going to fight very, very soon. All right, that's the main event. Kicking off the fight card is a good one as well. Ellie Scotney defends her IBF Super Bantamweight title for the first time. She takes on Laura Soledad from Argentina. This is her first defence of the title. You know more than anyone. What's it like, your first defence? I mean, some people say it doesn't feel like you're the world champion until you make your first defence.
My worst fear going into when I defended the WBC title, I fought BJ Flores for the first defence. And you have to understand, you're holding the keys to the kingdom for these fights who've never been world champion before. BJ Flores was on his second or third attempt, I think, so he knew it was his last chance he was going to get. And you just don't want to be that guy who loses in his first defence. You just, it really, like, I love boxing, and there's nothing I don't know, but it's shame. I shouldn't say shame, but it would be highly embarrassing if you were to get spanked in your first defence of a world title. It's horrendous. It really is.
I don't expect Ellie Scotney to. She takes on Laura Soledad from Argentina. Tough. The question, I guess, for Ellie is she's looking for that. Every female seems to be looking for that super fight in their division, or maybe going up a couple of weight classes. She's desperately wanted to fight with the likes of Shannon Courtney, Ebony Bridges, just to get the crowd behind her. She's looking for that, but she's got to come through Saturday.
The thing is with the girls, they're all just willing to face each other, I think. And
any weights, it
seems. Of course, and they just go up and down the weights. You've seen what Tasha Jonas has done. It's been phenomenal. The way she's gone up and down and through the weights. Katie Taylor tried to be great last time out against Chantal Cameron, and you've just Savannah Marshall's floating in and around weights, and they all want to do something, and I can't miss out there the amazing Clarissa Shields, pound for pound best fighter in the world, and the girls. So they will all get chances. It's just, I don't know, it just dilutes it a bit for me when you see them just going so far up in weight divisions and then just picking up another world title. I mean, in boxing, I think once you go 2 or 3 weight divisions above, I mean, you shouldn't really be competing. You shouldn't really be beating bona fide world champions. I mean, it very rarely happens in boxing, and it very rarely happens for a reason, because weight classes are there for a reason. You don't step out of yours. Canelo's kind of changed that format a little bit, but make no mistake, Canelo's handpicked the world champions he's faced. He hasn't gone through every division and gone, I'm fighting the best here.
Steady, we might talk about Canelo in a bit. Big fight for Canelo on the weekend. A couple other females on the card as well. Really looking forward to seeing these. I feel like they're on a collision course. Shannon Ryan is on the card. Maisie Rose Courtney's on the card. But I do want to talk about someone in your former division. Chef Clark takes on Vasil Duka. Chef Clark seems to be doing that for me.
He is.
But the competition seems to be rising. And all of a sudden, you look at the cruiserweight scene in this country, it's a big one. It's come from nowhere, it's a big one now.
The thing I like about Chev is every time he gets stepped up a level, he actually looks better. I think he looks worse than when he steps down, and I think that will only be a thing going forward where he'll step up and he'll prove again, and he'll step up and he'll prove again. And with this one against Vasyl Ducart, he's not a world beater. I'm not saying he's a world champion anyway, but he's a gatekeeper to the next level.
Yeah.
And if you've got something about you, you'll get rid of Vasyl Ducart. But if you struggle with him or he hits you there, it kind of lets you know, listen, you're not quite ready yet. And I think that's where Chev is. So I've been a huge admirer of Chev, and I've got a bit of a relationship with him. I speak to the kid. He'll ask for advice. He's very open to listening to people and former fighters. So yeah, I just think the right fight at the right time. And he's ready for the British title now. I mean, he's ready for your Michael Lawals, your Isaac Chamberlains. He's in that mix. You just want to see him thrust into it now.
I mentioned he's going there in terms of competition. How's he going to feel that he's co-main event here? So he's gone from, I remember Chev when he was opening shows, on the prelims, desperate to get on the main broadcast. He's now co-main.
He better be ready.
Yeah.
Because there's no going back at it. Once you're co-main and once you're really close to the end, once everyone's eyes are on you, because that arena's going to be nearly full, and all eyes are going to be on him. They've put him in that position because they want to see, can you keep the crowd entertained? Because they're not all there for him, but the crowd's going to be nearly full. So he's got to go in there, entertain them, make a bit of a name for himself, and look good doing it.
Tony Bellew mentioned Canelo, massive fight this weekend in Vegas, undisputed versus undisputed. So Canelo Alvarez takes on Jermell Charlo, the undisputed king at 168 pounds, take on the undisputed king, 154 pounds. Ak and Barack are lucky to be out in Vegas, soaking it all up. By the way, some big news for DAZN subscribers in the UK and Ireland. If you have a subscription, this is part of your subscription. You can watch this fight for free. So look, massive news. Let's hear from Ak and Barack are out in Vegas.
Thanks, Ada. You know where we are. You know we could not miss our boy Canelo here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Look, the energy is tense. These guys were liking each other a couple months ago. Barack, in the press conference yesterday, I felt some bad blood brewing.
Bad blood, tension. I think some fighters, they need to feel that.
Right.
It's a little bit too quiet.
Canelo's one of those, probably.
Yes. It's a little bit too quiet, too loving, you know, and I think they both need to, you know, feel a little aggression. I think, see, Charlo, he has it automatically. It's like, he wakes up with the chip on his shoulder. But Canelo is that guy, like, okay, I like it calm, I like it respectful, but as soon as they get closer, now I'm coming up to the weigh-in. I want to see him how he's going to act on the weigh-in.
And it was a reminder as to the size difference, right? This face-off, again, like a couple of months ago, Charlo is much bigger than Canelo Alvarez, though he's moving up 2 weight classes. And people tend to forget, despite of all the success Canelo had at 168, he's very small for that division. So, as I said several times, I don't think size is going to play a major part.
No.
I think this fight is about skill and what version of each guy shows up.
First of all, this is just like when Canelo moved up to 168. Remember, he grabbed all of the belts. Callum Smith, official 168-pounder. But when he fought Billy Joe Saunders, he really was fighting a 160-pounder who moved up. So he really wasn't fighting a big guy. You understand? And that's what Charlo has right now. You're fighting a guy who's been fighting at 168, but he's really a 154-pounder, smaller than you are.
And the interesting thing is, Canelo, you know, this fight when it was announced, he came in as a heavy favorite. He's still a favorite, but the more experts you ask here in Las Vegas, there are people that are picking Jermell Charlo to upset Canelo Alvarez because of the size, the youth, and the power. You know, they're around the same age. Canelo's been fighting for a long time. So this is a fight that you don't want to miss.
Right, and the thing is, when you've been beaten before, that means there's a blueprint. And maybe they seen Bivol and say, okay, I'm going to take that blueprint.
You don't want to miss it. Ak and Barack live from Las Vegas.
All right, we spoke a couple of weeks ago when we sat down about this fight. We're here now. I tweeted that I feel like it's gone under the radar a little bit. I don't know why. Like a Canelo fight, normally it's everywhere, isn't it?
It's massive. It's huge, and it's an absolute travesty that he's facing Charlo, who's the undisputed best fighter in his weight category, and it's not plastered everywhere. Well, how does everyone not know? I mean, people are talking to me saying, like, is Canelo really fighting this week? We've not seen or heard anything, and I'm just, it's poor. It really is poor form.
Yeah, when I asked you a couple of weeks ago who's going to win, you gave Charlo a good chance. Gave him a good chance. Where are you now?
I still give him a huge chance.
Oh, what does that mean? Does that mean you favour him to beat Canelo?
Yeah. I would go with Charlo 55-45.
Okay, close.
Maybe 50, maybe
51-49.
maybe 60-40. Maybe.
Really?
I just
make
think
him a favourite. Okay.
The size and the problems that he'll cause, and also the blueprint that Dimitri Bivol laid, can be followed. It wasn't an impossible thing that Bivol done.
Yeah.
He kept him long, he put him on the end of his shots, and he fired relentlessly. He wasn't scared of him. And I just think, for someone as big as Charlo, there's the blueprint kid, go and do it. Can you do it? I mean, the Tony Addison fight is a little bit of a worry, and the loss, but he revenged it and he came back, so let's see what he's got.
Is it a case of you thinking Charlo's here, or you thinking Canelo's maybe on the slide?
I don't want to say that, because I think...
He's been fighting since he was 15. It's okay to be on the slide.
Of course it is, and the fights and the magnitude of the fights that he's had are huge, but I don't want to take anything away from Charlo if he wins. So I think it's unfair to say so. He hasn't shown he's on the slide yet. Until you see him in a fight and you go, I don't know, and he just doesn't look right, then you can't say he's on the slide. I mean, I hate this about fighters when they say, oh yeah, he wasn't right, he was on the slide. I mean, I've been through it all myself and heard it before. It's funny how before the fight we're all saying how amazing he looks and he's great and he's this and he's that and you're going to get knocked out. But then, because he loses, why? Because he lost, he's on the slide? No, not at all. It's just that you've come across a style you couldn't beat. He's not on the slide because of the Bivol fight. He's on the slide because Bivol... Why would people say he's on the slide? Because Bivol beat him.
Bivol's so good.
Yeah, Bivol's just exceptional.
It's more for me because of the John Ryder performance, but I know what you mean. Just because I didn't think of John Ryder as a world-class, elite level fighter, and John caused him a lot of problems.
Look what John Ryder done to Daniel Jacobs.
Yeah.
Is Daniel Jacobs on the slide?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you just nailed it.
No, yeah,
I just think it's unfair to say about a fight, you've only beat him because he's on the slide. You've beat him, and that's just the way it is. Some people struggle with certain styles, and some people are better than others, and it's just it's tough. It really is. I don't want to say he's on the slide. Listen, if you get knocked out in a round, he's shot.
Can I ask you about another fighter? Moving on very, very quickly.
Yes.
Producer's telling me to wrap up very quickly because we did speak about Zhang Joyce.
Yes.
And you did pick Zhang to win again.
And what did I say?
You said because Joyce's chin, once it's gone, it's gone. Resistance, yeah.
I said if his resistance is gone, it's not going to go past 6 rounds.
You said it.
And his resistance... Now, I really like Joe Joyce. I think he's one of the nicest people you could ever wish to meet, and I wish him well, and I hope he's good. But I'm telling you now, Joe Joyce wouldn't beat the British champion right now.
Fabio Wardley.
He would not beat him because...
I thought that was taken out of context, but you're saying it again. No, I saw the tweet and I was like, someone's taking it out of context.
No, I'm telling you now, Joe Joyce's greatest asset was his resilience, was his punch resistance. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's gone now. And I can't say it strong enough, mate. It's gonna not end well because he's in a bad way, mate. He really is. You can't go into a fight, Addy, and I don't want to say this because it sounds like I'm demeaning him and I'm saying that I'm not. I'm saying it because I actually like him. You can't go into a fight and your tactic is, I'm going to win because you're going to hit me so many times you're going to get tired.
Yeah.
And that's and listen, let's just all be brutally honest. That's how he defeated Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois emptied the tank on him, hit him so many times that he got tired, and he quit. And that can't be good tactics in the long run. That resistance has to go at some point. He's got the greatest chin heavyweight division seen since Oliver McCall and David Tua. I haven't seen a chin like it since them two men. But the fact of the matter is, it's gone now. And technically, he takes too many shots. He's robotic and mechanical. And for a British title, I'm telling you now, he'd get hit. Sorry,
there you go. No, there you go. Look, we're going to probably talk about that again because I feel like there's so much to unpack about can he continue, who should he fight next, etc., etc. But for you lucky DAZN subscribers, double header of World Championship Boxing this weekend. It all starts here, Over Arena, Wembley. Jaya Pattaya, the IBF and ring recognised #1 cruiserweight on the planet, takes from Jordan Thompson. Then just put your feet up for a couple of hours, get a coffee, get a drink, do whatever you want to do because in America, in Vegas, it's a big one. So Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo, undisputed versus undisputed. Your Saturday night, early Sunday morning is sorted. We'll see you on Saturday.